Hello students, today I am going to teach you English FL subject। एंड क्या है, अभी मैं फिर आपको भी रीडिंग ही दूंगी। रोज किस तरह रीड करते हैं लेसन। आप लोगों को ना हार्ड वर्ड्स आते हैं ना रीडिंग आता है। आपके वाली की आपके जो पेरेंट्स हैं उनकी यही कंप्लेन होती है कि बच्चों को रीडिंग नहीं आती, बच्चों को पढ़ना नहीं आता है। तो मैं आप लोगों को ये सब रीडिंग सिखा रही हूँ। ऐसा मत सोचना है कि टीचर यही पढ़ा करते हैं, बट मैं आपको रीडिंग के तौर पर बताती हूँ। जो हार्ड वर्ड्स हैं मैं उनको बार बार रिपीट करती हूँ और आपको मेरे साथ भी वही वर्ड्स को रिपीट करना है। मैं तो बोलती हूँ मेरे साथ ही रीड करना है। तब मैं हम स्टार्ट करते हैं यूनिट 4 में। मिस्टर रैबिट प्लेज अ प्रैंक, लेसन नंबर 4 है। जो मिस्टर रैबिट ने चाल चली थी, प्लेज अ प्रैंक। लेसन में रीड करती हूँ, बिल्कुल स्लोली करती हूँ। आपको हार्ड वर्ड्स भी समझ में आएंगे और जो मैं रीडिंग करती हूँ वर्ड्स भी समझ में आ सकते हैं। तो अपने क्या है, नाउ लेट्स इट बिगिन। हम शुरू करते हैं। मिस्टर रैबिट प्लेज अ प्रैंक। तो वन डे, मैं एकदम स्लोली रीड करती हूँ डिटेल। मिस्टर रैबिट वॉज RUNNING रनिंग along the beach. One day, little Mr. Rabbit was running along the beach. लिपट्टी when he saw, फुदकता वो कहाँ गया? when he saw Mr. Whale, and जब वो क्या है वहां बीच पर से गुजर रहा था, लिपटे कुत्ता फुदकता, तो इसने क्या देखा? when he saw Mr. Whale and Mr. Elephant talking together. When he saw Mr. Whale, 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 and Mr. Elephant talking to GETHER, together. You are the biggest, 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 CREATURE, creature on land. You are the biggest creature on land. Mr. Elephant said Mr. Whale, and I am the biggest, 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 CREATURE, creature in the sea. You are the biggest creature on land, Mr. Elephant and Mr. Whale, and I am the biggest creature in the sea. Yes, and we are best friends. Yes, and we are best friends. LITTLE, little Mr. Rabbit, RABBIT, rabbit was, WATCH, watch, ING, watching, THEM, them. Little Mr. Rabbit was watching them. He wanted, WNTED, he wanted to have some fun. So he, DECIDED, decided to play a prank. Little Mr. Rabbit was watching them. He wanted to have some fun, so he decided to play a prank. He ran away and got a very long, long, very strong. strong, strong. rope, rope. He ran away and got a very long, very strong rope. Then he brought out his big drum and hid it in the bushes. Then he brought out his big drum and hid it in the bushes. He took the rope, TOOK, took the rope in his hand and went, went to the beach where Mr. Whale was, SWIMM, swimming. He took the rope in his hand and went to the beach where Mr. Whale was swimming. Oh, please, PLEAC, please, dear Mr. Whale, he said, will you please help me? Will you please help me? What is it, Mr. Rabbit? Mr. Whale asked. You look WORRID, worried. You look worried. What happened? HPPENED. What happened? What is it, Mr. Rabbit? Mr. Whale asked. You look worried. What happened? Oh, Mr. Whale, said Mr. Rabbit. Oh, Mr. Whale, said Mr. Rabbit, my cow is STUCK stuck in the mud. Oh, Mr. Whale, said Mr. Rabbit, my cow is stuck in the mud near that hill. Will you please help me pull her out? Will you please help me pull her out? I asked so many animals. But no one is as strong as you. I asked so many animals, but no one is as strong as you. None of them could pull her out. None of them could pull her out. Please, please help me. Please, please help me. Mr. Whale was so pleased. He smiled, 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 and said, yes, at once. Yes, at once. Thank you, Mr. Whale, said Mr. Rabbit. This is what I will do. I have this strong rope. I will tie one end around you and the other end around my cow. Thank you, Mr. Whale, said Mr. Rabbit. This is what I will do. I have this strong rope. I will tie one end around you and the other end around around my cow. Then 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 when I am ready, 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 I will beat my drum. I will beat my drum. When you hear the sound, pull very, very hard, for my cow is stuck deep in the mud. Then when I am ready, I will beat my drum. When you hear the sound, pull very, very hard, for my cow is stuck deep in the mud. Said Mr. Whale. Said Mr. Whale. I am strong enough to pull out even 20 cows from the deepest ocean. Little Mr. Rabbit tied one end of the rope around Mr. Whale. Little Mr. Rabbit tied one end of the rope around Mr. Whale and ran off. लिपट्टी लिपट्टी. So to the hill. अब वो कहाँ पहुंचा? हिल पर पहुंचा. Where Mr. Elephant was eating some juicy leaves. जहाँ पर कहाँ पहुंचा? वो हिल पर पहुंचा जहाँ पर कहाँ क्या कर रहा था? मिस्टर एलिफेंट जूसी लीव चबा रहा था. Oh, Mr. Elephant, he said, will you please help me? Oh, Mr. Elephant, he said, will you please help me? What is it? Asked Mr. Elephant. My cow is stuck in the mud. My cow is stuck in the mud near the beach. My cow is stuck in the mud near the beach, said little Mr. Rabbit. And I cannot pull her out. And I cannot pull her out. I am sure you can, since you are so big and strong. No one is as strong as you. I am sure you can, since you are so big and strong. No one is as strong as you. Certainly, said Mr. Elephant. I will help you. Certainly, said Mr. Elephant. I will help you. Thank you, Mr. Elephant. Thank you, Mr. Elephant, said Mr. Rabbit. This is what I will do. I have this strong rope. I will tie one end around you and the other end around my cow. I will tie one end around you and the other end around my cow. Then when I am ready, I will beat my drum. When you hear the sound, pull very, very hard, for my cow is stuck deep in the mud. Then, when I am ready, I will beat my drum. When you hear the sound, pull very, very hard, for my cow is stuck deep in the mud. Don't worry, said Mr. Elephant. I can pull out even 20 cows. Mr. Rabbit tied the other end of the rope tightly, T-I-G-S-T-L-Y, tightly round Mr. Elephant's trunk. Mr. Rabbit tied the other end of the rope tightly round Mr. Elephant's trunk and ran away into the bushes. There he sat down and beat the big drum. There he sat down and beat the big drum. This seems to be a very heavy cow. Said Mr. Elephant. But I will pull her out. After all, I am the mighty Mr. Elephant. And he dug his feet into the ground and gave a big pull. After all, I am the mighty, M-I-G-S-T-Y, mighty Mr. Elephant. And he dug his feet into the ground and gave a big pull. Dear me, said Mr. Whale, that cow must be stuck really deep. Dear me, said Mr. Whale, that cow must be stuck really deep. And he pulled with all his strength. Mr. Whale pulled, P-U-L-L-E-D, pulled harder, H-A-R-D-E-R, harder, and Mr. Elephant pulled harder. Mr. Whale pulled harder and Mr. Elephant pulled harder. This must be a very huge cow. Thought Mr. Whale, and he jumped, J-U-M-P-E-D, and he jumped deep into the sea, pulling the rope with him. The pull was so strong that this must be a very huge cow, thought Mr. Whale, and he jumped deep into the sea, pulling the rope with him. The pull was so strong that Mr. Elephant came slipping and sliding towards towards the beach. The pull was so strong that Mr. Elephant came slipping sleeping and sliding sliding towards the beach.